So this is going to be the fourfold pattern of an 8-pointed star that we did in our class, and the book that we are taking it from is Islamic Geometric Patterns, and they attribute it in this book to the Cappella Palatina in Palermo, Sicily. So we're going to draw a grid, and then we're going to draw 4 units of the same design. In this book they have 9 units, but we're doing 4. So first thing we're going to do is take your paper, and it can be any size paper, and you're going to take your ruler and draw a line going across the page. It can be vertical or horizontal, and the line can go across the whole page. And then you're going to take your compass, and you're going to open your compass to as far as your page will allow you, leaving a little bit of space on either side. So my page is a 9 by 12. So I'm just going to see, and again, you're going to place the center or the point of your compass in the center of the page. You can measure, I'm not going to. And then we're just going to draw our first circle. And you should work in pencil, but I'm working in marker to make it more visible. And I'll just adjust the zoom here. And then the next step we're going to do is place the compass point where our line and our circle intersect on the right, and we're going to draw most of a circle, or like, half of a circle type of thing, or slightly above half. We don't need the full circle. And we're going to do the same thing on the left. And if you draw the full circle, that's okay. But we don't need the full circle. And then we're going to get our bisector, or our line that cuts this line at a 90-degree angle. So it bisects the line. And what you're going to do for that is you're going to draw 2 arcs. So where your circles intersect above, you may have to resize your compass. I'm just going to use another compass. You're going to draw an arc, just like that. And on the other side, you're going to draw an arc, and the arcs should intersect each other. So just like that. And you're going to do the same thing below where the circles intersect each other. You're going to draw an arc on either side, on the right and on the left, and they should intersect. If ever it looks a bit like mine and it's not intersecting like too much, you can always just draw it more. And then you'll place your ruler through where the intersection of the arcs is and through the center, and you'll draw your bisecting line. And this is a bisecting line, and it cuts this line at a 90-degree angle. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to take your compass, and you may have to resize it back to the original radius that you had, and you'll just use your sheet to measure the original radius. And where the line that you just drew, the bisecting line, and the original circle intersect is where you'll place the point of your compass. So right at this below, and you'll just draw your partial circle, and we're looking for this leaf shape. So once you have that, or this petal shape, then we're good. So you don't need to draw a full circle. You can, but you don't need to. And if ever, like, let's say it didn't quite match up, you could always extend, like you can, just extend to make sure you have those 4 petals. Next step in the grid is we're going to connect the points of our petals and encapsulate the design in a box. So let's do that. So we're just connecting all our points. And once you do that, you're going to draw your diagonals always through the center. So from the tip of the petal on either side through the center, through the opposite tip. And if ever that happened, you should be working in a pencil, but I'm just gonna, somehow I lifted my pen, I guess. There we go. So now each one of these is a quadrant, and we still need to do a little bit more work on them. Next thing we're going to draw is a dynamic square, and a dynamic square is like a diamond, so we're going to connect the very top point here with the side here, below here, and on the opposite side here in a diamond shape, and it's called a dynamic square because when we look at it, we get the idea of motion. Versus a static square, when we look at it, we get the idea of stillness or no movement. And now we have found the center point in each of the quadrants, if we think about each one as a quadrant. So we're going to connect the center points vertically and horizontally. And we're going to extend to the edge of our box here. The next thing we're going to do is within each quadrant, we're going to draw a circle, and you're going to size your compass to this radius. So it's this radius, which is also this radius, and we want it to tangent on all four sides. And so you may have to do like a little micro adjustment, slightly adjust the radius, and you can always test to see if you're going to hit where you want to hit. So let's try that. And we're going to repeat that 4 times. And again, you can always do a little check before you commit to the circle. And if ever there's a slight overlap or it's slightly off, I wouldn't stress about it. So now working in one of the quadrants, we're going to draw a dynamic square and a static square, and that will give us the construction lines that we need for the final design. So I'll zoom in on one of them because it's just going to be a matter of repeating each one afterward. So we can number or label them if it makes it easier. If we go around the circle, every time a line intersects our circle, a straight line, never mind the other lines, those were for construction, we can number them. So for example, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And so then we're going to connect a dynamic square. So that's 1, 3, 5, 7 back to 1. And then we'll do a static square, which is 2, 4, 6, 8 back to 2. And now we have all the lines that we need, and you could technically grab a pen or a Sharpie or something, and now we can ink over what we like. You can also just draw darker with a pencil, and now we'll just keep the outline of the shape that we want, and everything else was construction. So you could erase, or you could leave it. It's up to you, or you could trace the final design onto another sheet to paint or to color. And that's the final design. And when you repeat it 4 times, you get beautiful shapes in between. So you get shapes within the negative space. So you get like, if you repeat it 4 times, you get this like cross shape inside, and then you get half of it, and then half of it on either side, and then a quarter of it in the corners. So you get this beautiful shape. What we did was 1 unit, which is this, and all the construction that went along with it. And if ever you wanted to embellish with some flowers or a little bit of additional beauty, you can do that, and you can draw a proportioning circle to help you proportion your flowers by going from a radius of from the center 0 to 6. So you would place your point of your compass on the very center, just like this, and you would measure, you would adjust the radius of your compass to this here, like this 6 here, and then you could place it in the center of your star, and it would help you draw a proportional, and again, it would be a construction, so you wouldn't want it in the final design necessarily. And then you could use these 8 divisions to help you draw a flower, and you can just follow the lines, and you can embellish it, and you can, make it your own by how you color your painting, and or how you paint it, or how you color your flower, and you can just add your creativity now that we've drawn the shape. And there we go. You can even draw one in the center, so you just repeat the same thing 4 times.